Hey, hi. My name is Purnima and welcome to my lecture series. I'm so glad these series interested you. So before you start listening to my lectures, I will just like to give you or tell you what my motivation was behind shooting or conducting these lecture series. So I was approached by this NGO called the Udayan Shalini Foundation, where I was asked to teach English to little girls who were just going to go to their colleges. So, especially from the place that I come from, that is India, English is being used vastly. So, I have seen a lot of people struggling in communicating in English. It's not just, so I feel whenever you have to express your thoughts and emotions, it is not just enough to know the technicalities or just to know the grammar. It is also equally important to know how to use your voice, how to pronounce certain words, how to have a certain body language if you want the other person to listen to you. So that is what I have in these lecture series. I have not only covered some basic grammar topics, but I have also covered topics such as intonations or pronunciations or body language. So I really hope by the end of these lecture series, you are able to gain some more confidence in expressing your thoughts and emotions in English. And I have a little secret for you that I will be introducing a surprise member towards the end of these series. And so this surprise member is really, really close to my heart. And by listening about this surprise member, I am sure you're going to feel so motivated, so encouraged that it does not matter what your caste is, your age is, your sex is, your background is. You are equally you have the equal potential as anybody else has to pursue whatever you feel like, whatever you are scared of, just because of coming from a certain background, or what will people, or thinking about what will people say. So yeah, with these series I just want to help those people who are hesitant to communicate in English, and I hope I'm able to do that. So I hope you enjoy the series. Thank you. Today, what we're going to learn is verbs, tenses, and voices. So I think verbs and tenses and voices are a little tricky and a little complicated concept. So I want you to make a lot of notes, and even if you are not able to see, at least you can hear me. I'm talking very slowly and very loudly. So please pay a lot of attention, because today I will be teaching a lot of things and I really hope you don't get confused. So if at any point of time you have any doubt, then just write it down, okay, or just mark it so that you can ask me. Okay. Start with verbs. Okay. So what are verbs? Verbs are basically any kind of actions. So I write. Write is an action. I sing. Sing is an action. I talk. Talk is an action. So any kind of action is a verb. That's very simple. But how to use this verb based on the situation, based on the circumstances, based on your thoughts, how do you express? By playing with the verbs. So today we're going to play with the verbs. Okay? And that is why we have to learn how to use verbs with tenses, so that we can talk in the correct tense. Okay? Right. So before that, there are something called as present and past participles. I don't know how many of you have learned this. Present participle. So I have a list of the present and past participles that I will provide to you guys, and you can have a look at them. And how do you use the present and past participles is something that we will learn how to use the participles in the tenses. Okay, so for example, let me have a word, eat. If I have the verb eat, so the present participle will be eat, the past participle will be eaten. Okay, there is nothing to explain in what present and past participles are. It's just you'll have to learn. Eat, eaten, um, awake, awake, or no, he was awake. Yeah, awake. Um, so yeah, that is that. We'll start with present and past tense. Okay. So in the present tense, you have different types like simple present, present continuous, and present perfect. I think this is something that everybody learns in school, but what you do not learn is how to use them in your everyday conversations and what is the appropriate time to use them. Okay, so now we'll start with simple present. Simple present always has the sun rises, or I wash my clothes, or I do my homework. So it's simple, something that happens every day. The earth goes around the sun, the earth rotates around itself. So that is simple present. So if you want to say something that happens every day or every morning or every year, so you can use simple present. Like today is a beautiful day. Okay, the board is white, so it's a fact, the board is white. So when you have facts and when you have something that happens every day, you use the simple present. In the same way, when you use simple past, is something that happened before now. So I spoke to you yesterday. So the simple is speak and the past is spoke. Okay? The simple is, past is was. He was sad. She is happy, she was sad. Yesterday she was sad, but today she is happy. So that is simple present and simple past. In plural, you can use are or were. Okay. அம்மா நான் வீடியோ ரெக்கார்ட் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கேன். Okay. What else? Okay, this is simple present, simple past. Sorry, I got distracted. Okay, then we can talk about present and past continuous. Okay, continuous is something that is happening. I am writing, ing. Continuous will always have ing. So if you are calling your friend and she's like, where are you? She's like, I am coming. That means you are in the process. It's a continuous process in the present. I am coming. If you see your brother, what are you doing? He's like, I am playing. So it's a present continuous thing with ing. In the same way, if it's past continuous, it's easy. Instead of is, you'll use was. He was playing. He was studying. I was watching a movie yesterday. But in continuous, you always use the word ing. Okay? Now is the tricky part. Now we come to perfect. Perfect is something that a lot of people struggle with, so let's spend some time here. Okay, what is present perfect? When do you use perfect? So if I have a line, so if I say this is my timeline, okay, you are here now in the present, okay, and it was past. So if you want to describe an event somewhere in between present and past, that's when you use present perfect. Okay, so for example, okay, now I am with my friend, okay, she's asking me, have you seen, or did you see this movie? So you saw this movie, okay, you saw is past tense. You saw this movie a year ago, but you are talking about it now. So I have seen this movie. This is where you use the word have. I have seen this movie. Okay, and the word seen is a past participle. See is present, seen is past participle. Okay, then I'll give you another example. Did you eat your lunch or did you eat your breakfast? So you ate your breakfast in the morning, but you want to talk about it now. I have eaten my breakfast. Okay, that is when you use the word have. And what about has? Has is used when you use she, he, or she. I'll give you another example. Okay, now your friend is shopping, okay, and she went shopping 2 hours ago. Her mother is calling you. Hey, have you seen her? Have you spoken to her? So you will say she has gone shopping. Okay, she has gone shopping. Alright. Okay, now I tell you, I give you all this information, okay? The last week I gave you information on adjectives and nouns. Now you ask me a question about adjectives which we studied last week. So what will I say? I have already taught you that because it was something that happened in the past, but I want to talk about it in the present. I have already taught you. I have already spoken about it. I have written that on the board. Okay, that is when you use the word have and has in present perfect. Okay, now we'll see past perfect. We will do a lot of examples in present perfect so that this will be clearer to you. So again we have present, past, and something which is more in the past. So like, how can I say? I ate my dinner last night. So I ate my dinner. That is in the past. And I slept. Okay, so I have two sentences. I ate my dinner. I slept. Okay. Now you want to merge these two happenings which were in the past. So how will you say? I had eaten my dinner before I slept. I had eaten my dinner before I slept. You see here, be careful. So had is the past tense. Instead of have or has, using had. Eaten is the past participle, and now you're saying पहले मैंने dinner किया, उसके बाद मैं सोने गई. So ये दोनों are in the past. I had my dinner is also in the past. I slept is also in the past. But one happened before the other, and that is when you use past perfect. Okay? Past perfect. I had eaten my dinner before I slept, or I had gone to the station before the train arrived. I went to the station. Okay, I'll give this example. I went to the station. Okay, and the train arrived. So when in the past, arrived in the past, but this happened before this. So how will I write? I had gone to the station before the train arrived. Okay, so I had, instead of have you're using had, and gone is the past participle. Okay, so this is where you use past perfect in your conversations. So you did something yesterday or last month, and you are now in the present in an interview or with your friends, and you want to tell two things that happened in the past. That is when you use past perfect, had, and the past participle. Cool. So there are some rules when you use the present and past participle. Present and past perfect. So what are the rules? Rule number 1 is do not use them for specific time. Do not use them for a specific time. Okay. If you want to say with a specific time, like yesterday, I had my dinner yesterday. That is, I had my dinner yesterday. But if you want to use like the present perfect, I have. Okay, how do I put this? Like she went out yesterday, but she has gone out yesterday is wrong. So you cannot use them with specific times. With specific times. So she has gone out yesterday is wrong. She went out yesterday. That is past tense. She has gone out a lot of times. It's more general. She has gone out a lot of times. She has been to the movies a lot of times. Okay? But she has gone out yesterday is wrong. Okay? Then you do not use it. Do not use it for specific events. Okay, I mean it's similar to this, but specific events like an eclipse. So if you saw an eclipse, I saw the eclipse last morning, yesterday morning. I saw the eclipse yesterday morning. You don't say I have seen the eclipse yesterday morning. That's wrong. I have seen the eclipse yesterday morning is wrong. I have seen the eclipse is okay. I have seen the eclipse a lot of times is also okay. But I have seen the eclipse yesterday morning is wrong. So do not use it with specific times. Do not use it for specific events. You can use it for sharing your experiences, sharing your memories, if you have done something a lot of times, or things like that. For that you use, okay, this is for present perfect. Rules for present perfect. Okay, so these are only 2 rules, so be very careful while using them. So if the next week, if you ask me a question about tenses or about perfect tense, so what will I say? I have taught you that. I can say I have taught you that, but I cannot say I have taught you that last week or last Sunday. That's wrong. I have taught you that, and I taught, so okay, I'll write this down. I taught you that last week, or I have taught you that before. You see the difference? So you use have taught but with before. You use taught with last week. This is a specific time, this is not a specific time. So not a specific time, I use have and present perfect. It is a specific time, I use past tense, simple past, teach, taught. Okay, good. So this finishes present and past tense. Then we can go to future tense. We will not spend a lot of time in future. This is easy. So future is something that will happen in the future. So I will do something tomorrow. I will do my homework tomorrow evening. I will go out tomorrow. So that's easy. I will. Then future continuous. I will be going. So here you always use be and ing. I will be going out tomorrow, or what can you say? I will be eating chaat tomorrow, or I will be cooking something delicious tomorrow. Okay, so will, be with ing. Okay, yeah, let's not go into future perfect because that is something that we do not use in everyday conversations. So we'll just stick with future and future continuous. So this is easy. Easy peasy. Okay, so with this, I guess, so we learned how to use present, is, are, am, how to use past, was, were, how to use perfect, have, how to use past perfect, had, how to use the rules, the 2 rules that you learned for present perfect. And yeah, so this wraps up our tenses. Okay, so next that we are going to, the next topic that we're going to study are voices. So what are voices? Of course, I have a voice, you have a voice, you're talking. But what is voices in grammar? It's about, so I'll give you an example in Hindi. मैं बच्चों को पढ़ाती हूँ, right? And the other way is बच्चे मेरे से पढ़ने आते हैं. So the difference is, if you want to stress on I, or if you want to stress on students, I teach the students. The stress is on I. I teach the students. Right? The stress here is on I, which is the subject. The students is the object. Now, how do you know what is the subject and what is the object? You See, okay, you have the verb, right? So who is doing or who is acting? Who is doing the verb? I am doing. Who is teaching? I am teaching. So I is the subject. And then you ask the question, teaching whom? You get the answer, the students. It's the object. Now, this is called a active voice. Okay? Now, if I want to stress on the students, then I will interchange the object with the subject. The students are taught by me. So you see, I is getting converted to me, teach is getting converted to taught, and the students is an object that now becomes the subject. So you interchange the position. The students are taught by me. Okay? So this is something that you normally use in conversations. So if someone asks you, okay, if you're going out and you are dressing up your mother, or you are telling your brother what to wear, or so you say, my brother was dressed by me. You can also say, I dressed my brother. That's simple, active voice. But if you want to stress on what you did, so my brother was dressed by me. So this voice is called passive voice. So what is the rule here? The rule is, you have the subject, you have the verb, you have the object. First, detect what is the subject by asking the question. Like, she drives a scooter. Okay? She drives a scooter. What is the verb? Drives. Now you ask, who drives? You ask the question, who? Okay? Who drives? She drives. She is the subject. Driven by whom? Okay, no. Drives what? It's the scooter. Okay? Here you use teach whom, or you ask the question what? What? Whom? The scooter. The scooter is the object. Now in the passive tense you reverse it. The scooter now, and the verb drives. Drives goes into the past participle. Okay, let me write it down. She drives a scooter. Okay? She is the subject, verb, object. So I really want you to understand how to find out subject, verb, object, because this will be useful in our next session. So I ask the question who? She. She is a subject. Drives what? A scooter. Scooter is object. Now we have to say in the passive voice. So how do you say that? The object, a scooter, the past participle. Past participle of drives is driven. A scooter was driven by whom? By her. Now I became me. In the last example, I becomes me. She becomes her. He becomes him. The verb becomes in the past participle, and the subject and object reverse themselves. Okay? So this is something that will be very useful, and you understood the rules, right? Subject, verb, object, how to detect them, how to use them to form a sentence in the passive voice. Okay, so that wraps up voices. Thank you for listening to my lecture. I hope you enjoyed it. And please leave your comments, feedback, and any questions that you have in the comment section. Thank you.